funky.
Good afternoon guys, it's Garrett, and today I'm bringing you guys a new tutorial on some UI design stuff. I'm going to be going over a new series on my channel, basically breaking down UI design to a bunch of parts, a bunch of pages we're going to be making. Hopefully we can make our own actual app. It will not be working, we will not be able to code it, however we can make a cool mock-up for it. So basically UI design stands for user interface, and it's used a lot in web design and app design. Basically, app design is basically what people refer to as UI. And really quickly to go over, the whole entire thing. App design, stuff like that. It's basically, Instagram, Facebook. Like right here is going to be a quick UI for, a music playing place. And right here. So it's really easy to do. However, it's really expressive and clean. And you really need to know your fonts, your color schemes, color theory, knowing how to put things where, and creating a cool effect just like that. So we're going to be going over a bunch of stuff today. We're going to be creating our own profile page. So right here on Behance, I will show you guys a couple of examples. If you guys just literally type in UI into the Discover section, there's just a whole bunch of, examples. Right here will be a pay your bill example. It has like your water bill, shows the color palette, wireframe, everything cool like that. If you do have the time, I would totally go over here. Here's a cool home security user interface as well. So basically we're going to be going over all of this stuff. It's really easy to do, and we're going to need one website to go on. It's going to be called flaticon.com, and I did a whole entire video on this. So if you guys do want to watch it, please click the card on the top right hand of the screen, watch that first, and then come back to this video. So back to the whole entire thing, we're going to be creating our own. So here in Photoshop I have a canvas the size of, I believe it's 960 by 940. The width will be 640 and the height will be 960. And then we're just gonna click OK and make sure that's all the size. And I have a ruler right here. I'm gonna be going over why I have that there. So basically, if you guys do not have your rulers up, just click Control R and bring this down basically like a quarter and a half through your page, between like the first quarter and the middle. And basically this is going to be where we're going to create our profile page and basically put our profile picture, our name, city, state, all that kind of stuff like that. And you guys can put it straight up in the middle, but I like to leave the middle kind of for other things, pictures, for simple stuff like that. So definitely leave this part open, and let's get right into it. So really quickly, what I like to do is make a new layer and actually grab a rectangle, and I like to use the color white just to kind of put it right here, and it's kind of like a placeholder for my gradients. So I'm going to put one right here to the middle line and then make another new layer, and I'm going to just hit Alt and put a clipping mask on top of that rectangle and label this profile header. And basically labeling this profile header is going to actually make me know what I'm working with and where to put stuff. Right here on my color palette, I'm actually going to make these different colors, and for a lot of web design on UI designs, I don't like using super saturated colors like all the way to the top right. Somewhere a little bit to the left will do, and the reason behind that is because you don't want the colors to blow up in your face and be like, wow, that's actually really bright. You want it to be kind of dull and subtle change. So now that I have that, I'm going to click my extra layer that I put onto that clipping mask onto the profile header, grab my radial gradient, and just kind of create a nice gradient down. And I like to use the radial one because it kind of creates a cool little effect going up here. And then I can zoom in and I can start working from this section. So we're going to break this down actually. Let me get that good zoom, make sure I'm all centered up. We're actually going to be making the profile section first. So what I like doing is also hitting Control T on this profile header and labeling up these sides so they all fit perfectly. Grab a ruler and put the ruler to just dead smack in the middle, just so I have my centerpiece just right there. So another way you can do that is just clicking that background layer, hitting Control T and placing that ruler somewhere. I like using the other way, just it seems a little simpler to me. So for your profile page we're going to be creating, we're going to want a circle in the middle where we're going to put everything. So in this sense, that's a square. We can use a square if you guys want to. I like using circles, however, for this kind of stuff. So, make a new layer above everything and create a circle. Don't make it too big, don't make it too small. Don't make it so much like in your face and that it's huge and long. You don't want it to be there. So just kind of create something like this. Maybe shrink that a little bit. And you guys can put that like right, let's just say here. Maybe a little smaller. maybe I'll create this, you know, a little kind of like small simplistic style, and you know, bring it up maybe right here. So it does not in the center, it's not like dead smack in the center, it's not everyone wherever it would be, but it's very up top, so I'm gonna keep it there. So we can label this, you know, profile image, and now what we want to do is actually go onto your hard drive, go onto your documents, and go find a profile picture to use. So what I'm gonna actually do is go back up to Google, and I'm just gonna type in profile picture, you know, black and white. I'm gonna have a very cool black and white picture to go with this kind of stuff. Actually, I know what I'm gonna use, Adidas Original. A little side note, Adidas Original has some dope clothing. I'm gonna be honest. I think, you know, Adidas Original is killing it right now with the clothing line. So, you know, something like this I'm gonna use. You know, just paste it in, basically, hold Alt, attach it to that little circle you just made. And you guys can shrink that up, maybe size it up somewhere right here. And it could be something for, you know, it could be your friend, it could be something. And now the next thing you want to do is you want to do one of two things. You guys can right click on that profile image and go right here to stroke. And you guys can actually make a white stroke on the inside, or actually on the outside or the inside. Doesn't really matter too much. And maybe take that opacity down just a little bit. Or you guys can put it on like screen or overlay. Overlay works really good. It really creates, you know, a cool thing. And then you guys can put like an inner glow on it, maybe of black to kind of create more of like a depth field, which is sometimes really good or really bad. It depends on how good you actually put it in. And you lower the opacity, mess with everything like that to kind of create that cool drop-in effect. So now that you guys have this, we're gonna create, you know, something different, something that you guys can switch through profiles. And I'm just working off this off the top of my head. I haven't been doing this before. I haven't made one pre-made for you. So we're gonna just type in on this flat icon section, arrows. So this is just a really insane website. As you can see, when I just type in the simple word arrow, it comes up with a bunch of cool little examples. And I'm gonna keep mine kind of a very simplistic feel. So I'm actually gonna use these ones. Whoops. And you know, all you have to do is click PNG 512, free download. And basically it should download, you know, straight to your hard drive or straight to your download section. And it should, as I said, right there, you see. So basically all you have to do is go to open, and then go to your hard drive, go to your downloads, or go to wherever you save your downloads from, Google Chrome or whatever browser you use. And then you guys will be set right here, back. I'm gonna make this white to follow my color scheme and my kind of cool little effects. And I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm using Camtasia, for some reason it doesn't like let me do certain things. It's kind of a little aggravating, but I'm working with it. So I'm gonna just take this, put that in the middle of the circle actually, and just shrink it up. Put it over here. Maybe I'll put like 3. Something a little different. So I'm gonna actually put an arrow or a ruler mark in between that circle so I know where I'm putting everything. Grab these and I'll put them right here. Maybe I can lower the opacity a little bit or put it on overlay even. So then this, I can merge them together, put it back on overlay. Hit Control J, which is going to be duplicating the layer. Right click, transform, flip horizontally. And then I'm gonna move this over to the other side, make sure it's the same distance apart. And you guys will have this. So basically in my head, I can make like the swipe right, swipe left, you know, you can swipe through profiles. And I'm keeping this on the logo because it's really easy to swipe through stuff like that. Also, you guys can lower this opacity to try to match the one all the way to the left, which in my mind is a good idea, but you guys can do you. So now that you guys have this, you guys wanna start with the name in the middle. And you don't want the font to be too explosive, so what I'm gonna do is actually type in just any name. I'm just actually gonna type in my name and capital letters, because all UIs make everything with capital letters. So just your basic name, you guys can put it on the white, you guys can put it on any color you really want. And then you want to find a font that can work with this. And this is going to be the difficult part because you need something very simplistic, but very there, you know, and it needs to be bold. It needs to be match your kind of modern looking theme, but it needs to have kind of a really edge to it. So that's going to be the hard part, is finding the font you want to use. So if you guys do need some help, you guys can actually head over to dafont.com and basically go over here to basic, and you guys can go to like sans serifs, which is basically where I'm gonna go, and just type in your name, and these will come up with a bunch of cool ones, and they really is gonna help. Maybe even the keep calm font will work. So this is when you want to start, you know, scheming, trying different things, and you know, maybe pick out that space a little more, maybe lower it, you know, center that. You guys can bring it up and then zoom out, see how it looks. So maybe something like that will work, and we can work with it. We can work with it. If I was you guys, I would totally take this and maybe mess with it a little bit more, just like this. You know, a little width, you know, the height matches, you know, everything's looking good. So now we have that, we're actually going to be working on some other stuff. Sorry, I just had to click something else out on my second monitor. But other than that, we're going to be working with something else. So we want to kind of include, you know, our, let's just say state and country. And a lot of people can use like state and city and state, everything like that. But we're just going to use, you know, let's just say we're going to do all capital actually for this part. New York, USA. And it's very basic, very simplistic, but we want to keep it like that. And we're actually going to take this and we're going to find a different font that is very kind of small. Maybe even Arial will work. Arial is a really good font. It's very like looked over because it's such a like a used font. So maybe something like this. Put that in the middle and actually put that on overlay. Maybe, and then we can zoom out and see what's up. So maybe like that can actually kind of work. That looks not too bad together. So something like this would work. So we can do something like this, and then we can start focusing on other sections. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a bar right here, but first I want to actually add some social media. So let's just say this is going to be the new app. You know, think of some crazy name in your head, start saying stuff. And we're gonna add, let's just say the Snapchat logo, the Twitter, and let's just say we're gonna add Instagram. So we're gonna take them, and I'm actually gonna, oh, I forgot I can't do that. And we're actually gonna basically paste these in and size these to the text, the capital letter on your UI designs. Which is kind of weird if you guys have ever done this, because it's kind of like out of the ordinary sizing stuff to letters, but trust me, it will help out. It looks very clean because it's not too big, it's not too small. And you know, put that in the middle. We can drag this one down, and then we can take the other ones, do the same exact thing. So you know, the Snapchat logo, we're gonna take the white base of that, drag this in as well. Whoops, gotta click it. And basically do the same thing. So, you know, put that to the bottom left-hand corner. Size it up. Maybe put that right above it. Throw it to the right-hand side. Maybe even line up with your name or your country and state. But it's entirely up to you. It's really like kind of what you want to do. So same thing I'm doing with this one. And make sure this is on RGB, because a lot of people switch from RGB to CMYK, and it's not a bad idea, do not get me wrong, to use CMYK, but not my preference, preferably. I'm actually gonna merge these. No, I'm not. I'm gonna make it a little bit tinier. I felt that as if they were a little bit too big. I'm gonna put them right here. So maybe this one will be all the way out here. So basically, you see what I'm doing? I'm kind of like messing with things. Now it's a little bit too much, so bring this one back in. That Snapchat one will just pretty much fall back into place. Just gotta find the right sizing. And we're good. So now what I'm gonna do is actually merge these together. Do the same thing we do with the text. I'm just gonna put it on overlay. And now I'm gonna wanna create the little part right here. It's gonna be basically like a follow or maybe like subscribe. So I'm gonna make a new layer. I'm gonna grab right here the rounded rectangle tool. I'm just gonna use a black right now actually, because it's gonna be just very telling me where to put stuff. And if you don't want to make something like this, you guys can create, you know, a circle. And I know there's a tool on how to do this. However, I'm not very familiar with it. You know, the radius can be changed, I'm pretty sure. So let's just say we're gonna take the radius and we'll put it up to 200. All right, maybe like this would work. So thinking we'll not make it too big, but we're gonna put it right here. Size it up, put it in the center, and then we'll be good. So what I'm gonna do is make this back to white, and then I'm gonna go make a new layer, and I'm gonna grab, very weird, I know, I'm gonna grab this blue and bring it down to the dark blue, and I'm gonna create a really light shadow under this profile header. Just like that. And now what I can do is go back to the blending options and go to color overlay, and I can change the color of the shadow that I want to use. So maybe I can use like a bright blue, and then I can actually hit Control J, which will duplicate it, making it a lot more brighter. And then we can zoom out and we can just see how it glows and kind of creates, you know, that depth effect. Something really cool like that would work extremely well. We can even go onto that rounded rectangle, go to blending options and put a stroke on it. Let's just say an outside stroke, very small, maybe like a 2 or a 1, maybe even a 2 on a small overlay, just create, you know, more depth. And, you know, always going back into this blending options and making color overlays, maybe a little bit darker would work. Something like that could really help create something like this. So I'm just gonna put that. I'm trying to find a good blue to use. Maybe a little more saturated, like that. So we have that, and then we can just put some words down. Maybe even like the subscriber count, which I believe we're well over 12,000 right now. Let's go check it out. We're well over 12,000, I believe. 12,161. So I'm gonna put that right here. 12,161. Actually, no, I'm gonna put subscribe, because that's what all you guys should be doing right now when you see this video pop up. All should be clicking that subscribe button. But basically, we're gonna take that, put it above the rounded rectangle, and we're gonna go back to the font we used for our text, which is gonna be Keep Calm. Make it a little bit bigger, and put it above that rounded rectangle. Put that in the middle. Same right here. And then we're gonna duplicate that gradient we used, put it above the text, hold Alt, and drop it on there. And maybe that's a little bit too much, so we're actually gonna shrink it up. Just like this. Alright, so you guys are getting the feel of it. I hope you guys are understanding what's going on right now. So we have something like this, and then we're gonna wanna create, you know, an object or something right here. So one of 3 things we can do is we can either put images or videos, we can put this account is hidden, or we can put like our emails and stuff like that. So what we're gonna do for this case, we're actually going to make it say this profile is hidden, and then I'll tell you guys how to add the video, pictures, and stuff like that. So to put this account is hidden, super basic, super easy. Go back to that flat icon website and just put in lock. Simple lock, and find a lock you want to use. You know, we got endless options. This website's gonna be hooking us up, real deal. So, you know, you can use something like that. We can use something like this. Always look back to what your theme's looking like. I'm actually gonna use this one. So same thing, PNG. I'll even grab the white one this time. Actually, no, I'm not, because it's gonna create a weird background. I'll keep it black. 512, free and downloads real quick, padlock. And we're gonna go to our downloads once again in our hard drive. And a really cool thing that I've been doing lately, if you guys haven't already, saving your downloads into your hard drive instead of your SSD saves a lot of space, man. It really does. So paste this in, control. Actually, I'm gonna keep it control. I'm gonna keep it black. I'm gonna put it in the middle. I'm gonna shrink it up just like that. Put it in the middle. And I'm gonna put this account is locked. Or no, this profile is locked. And basically, how you want to do it is you want to follow to view it or subscribe to view it. And now you want to go back to kind of more of a thin font. So the font we were using before, which is Arial, it's a good font to use. Maybe even throw it up on that bold version. Take away some spacing. Shrink the text a little bit. The profile is locked. Sorry about that. I actually had to go talk to my dad about my car. So back to what we were talking about with the font. We're gonna want to just space it, you know, a little bit differently. Take that padlock and merge these two. And, you know, zoom out, see what it looks like. Shrink it up a little bit more. Space it evenly. And click OK. Or enter, whatever you guys want to use. Lower the opacity a little bit. And you guys will have your cool little own profile page. So that's basically UI design, and what we're gonna be going over is adding pictures next. So, you know, you guys can keep this here, you guys can just hide it. And actually, really simply, we're gonna annotate this and hit Control T. We already have our rulers down, so it doesn't matter too much, but so you don't have to do that, but whatever you wanna do works fine. And we're gonna keep, let's just say, a rectangle for our videos and use a black image, and we're gonna basically make this hopefully work. So we're gonna have a rectangle right here, we're gonna bring it down and over. So we're gonna zoom in, and this is when you guys wanna really pay attention to these lines, and you really wanna make sure everything lines up really well. Just like that. And you know, you guys can use rectangles, you guys can use squares. A lot of people like to use squares, so it's gonna cover up a lot of space. We're not gonna be using a 3x3 like Instagram does. We're using a 2x2. So I know we can do something like this. Really pay attention to where all your lines are going. So, you know, maybe bring this out a little bit more. Same right here. And then you hit enter. Actually, that goes out a little bit more. Hit enter. And then you guys will have your little picture right here. You guys can duplicate it and basically bring it over right here. It should line up relatively the same. Should be the same actually, because you're using the same thing. And then you guys can go back to Google and type in, you know, Adidas original photography again. Let's say you're a photographer for Adidas. You're getting paid that bank. You're getting that dope kind of apparel. And then you guys can basically add your own image right here. So you guys got something like this. And then the same thing right here, you basically just kind of click out of that, go back to the Adidas page, click some random looking thing, paste it in, add it to that second image, and you guys are good. So now that you guys have that, you guys can understand how the 3x3 works and stuff like that. So it's really, you know, easy to do. Cut that person out by accident. But it's basically the same thing. I do like using that account is hidden, however. I thought it looked a lot cleaner for now. And the last thing we can do, if you really want to, is add like a gear up in the top left-hand corner. So back again, go to that flat icon website, type in, you know, gear, and a little gear will pop up. That can be your settings. And don't stress over this, guys. It's a very creative process. So of course it's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of effort. So do not stress over making stuff like this. And you can see this is a very long tutorial. However, I go over many key points and very key things. So drag this in, or hitting Control X onto it, pasting it in, works just as well. And then shrink that up, put it in the top right hand corner for your settings. So that's going to be it for today's tutorial going over UI designs, and it's very easy to do, very basic, very clean. And you guys can do other stuff. You guys can add like patterns in the background, and just like, let's just say we want to add that gear, we can hit Control I, make it a little bit bigger, and add like a little profile page in the background. A lot of people can do that with their profiles. So we can do something like this, very basic, very simplistic, very clean, and add that right there. There's more things we can do. Instead of having this, we can actually have a rectangle with a little arrow. We can have the circles being different. But what my key is to be is you guys can slide through profiles, slide through stuff like that, click on little social medias. It's kind of like a little advertising section like this. So that's going to be it for today's tutorial. I'm sorry that it did take so long, and I'm sorry I've been out, guys. My grandma actually passed away, so I've been a lot of like stuff with the family, the funeral, the wake, everything like that. Got a new car. Video will be out soon about that. If you guys didn't watch that flat icon link, the link will be in the description or that card on the screen. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to keep subscribing and hitting that thumbs up, and thank you guys so much for 12,000 subscribers. Other than that, guys, I'll see you later on. Peace out.